Hey y'all, this is AL Pick Madame. It's a Michelle, and this is going to be a what a week post. I already tried to do this before, and it was extremely long for no reason. It was not like the last time when I had a whole lot of stuff I was talking to y'all about. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this down. It don't make no sense. So I'm still working on it. Y'all know how I get. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. Okay, y'all. So my work week is over with. It was over with on Wednesday, and I went to the store on Wednesday. Well, I went to three. That was my whole plan for that day. After I got off work, I was gonna come home, go to sleep for a little while, and whenever I woke up, that's when I was gonna go to the store if everything was still open. And it was. It was still open. And I went later on than I expected to go. But it ended up being great because two of the three stores I'd never been to ever in life. Found stuff in all of them, but I was on a mission. There was something in particular I've been looking for the last couple of months. Nobody had it, and they usually do have this item at one particular store. They didn't have it online. They claimed to have it at other stores that were like an hour or so away, but I was not about to risk trying to drive that far for that item. Anyway, and it was not gonna be worth that dry gas. I paid for premium gas. I'm not gonna do all that. So no. They didn't have no ship from store to other store option. There are a couple of stores that do stuff like that, but that's not one of them, I'm guessing, or at least they used to. I think they used to do that back in the day, but I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it, right? Mm-mm. So what I did was I kept trying to find places online. When I finally thought I found a place, they weren't going to give it to me. So they refunded my money. The other place that I found shortly after that, they accepted the money at first, and then they reached out to me and was like, hey, we don't mail stuff to P.O. boxes, so you need to provide your home address. And I was like, the thievery is going on, so all of my mail gets sent there. You can't tell me that my mail, like stuff don't get sent to P.O. boxes when stuff does get sent to P.O. boxes every day. I hate when people try to tell me, oh, well, this company doesn't send stuff to a P.O. box. I'm like, yes, they do. I literally have packages right now that came through these people, and it's at my P.O. box right now. Like, one place tried to tell me that they don't do it. I'm like, ma'am, I got something right now I got to go pick up directly from these folks. So, what are you talking about? Anyway, so I was just like, look here, I'm not gonna keep going back and forth with you. Like, they do they do send stuff to P.O. boxes. I get stuff all the time. I just spoke to the folks when I went to pick up one of my items that they, for some reason, didn't just put a key in my box for. And I asked her, I was curious, and I was like, so what's the biggest item that you know, that you can have sent here? And so she was like, well, usually it's not supposed to like weigh over a certain amount, but people get furniture sent there all the time, and they just house it in the back until the people come and pick it up. Like, people are not here for the foolishness. Nobody has time for you to send your stuff to the house. You might not be there, and then you get to the house, they done dropped it off in the front of the house or in front of the apartment and left out. You're not gonna be lucky like I was a couple of times that people left my furniture outside and nobody touched it. Like, you're lucky. So, so I was shocked. Like, I'm thinking, because there have been times that I've wanted to get new mattresses, right? And like every month or every other month, one of these places that I follow, they will like catch this deal where like king size mattresses, queens, all of that, whatever size that you live for, they would have it on sale, and it'll be a good one. It'll be something that you normally $400 to $600. The mattress is $189, $99, or $100 or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, I'm here for that. And I never will pull the trigger on it because I'm like, oh, they probably gonna say that I gotta have it sent to the house. Oh, now that I know that I can have it sent there, I'll just slide out the door, put it on top of my car. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Because that's what I've done before in the past. When I had my Crown Vic, I ended up having to go and get it. It was the wrong size. Then I went back, strapped it back onto my car, dragged it back down the stairs, did all that, and put it back over there. He tied the new one back on my car, and I ended up going right back. Like, I ain't playing these games, DP. I ain't got time for it. I will slow ride down the street with my stuff. And I ain't gonna have far to go anyway. So if I knew that I was gonna get something, I would play my cards right, do it at a time that I know traffic shouldn't be heavy so that I can get from point A to point B. It ain't gonna take me but like no more than 10 minutes slow driving to get from that particular post office to where I live. hmm So now I might try it now that I know that information. So anyway, yeah, let's move along. So anyway, so y'all know I be talking to y'all about this dude at work who looks like Corey Hardick, right? Y'all know Tia Mowry's ex-husband. Looks like him. Like if I had to say he looked like a celebrity, that's who he favors. He looks like a younger version of him. It's just that his nose is like normal size. Corey's nose is bigger. This dude is fine. So anyway, I saw him like almost every day of my work week this week, right? So one of the days that I saw him, I saw a parking spot. And so you got to go around and then come back up because they have it now where it's set where it's one way in, one way out. And so I like to park on a certain part in a certain part of the parking lot on a certain side if I can. So I saw the parking spot. So I'm like, oh, okay. Little did I know he was in this big old truck. And I guess he was like a few seconds before me, had already gone around and before I saw the spot because nobody was in front of me at first. So I come back around and I see him backing into the spot and I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, but I think it's another spot, like a couple of spots down, like 2-3 spots away from that one. It's okay. So I get up on him and I see him. I was like, oh, look at him, because he had to correct himself, right? He had corrected the truck and put it in park. So then I roll my window down and he look over because he see me roll up because I'm obviously about to back into the spot I'm in, right? So he look up and he see me and I roll the window down. I was like, yeah, you better whip that truck, man. He started blushing. He started blushing. But I live for somebody to know how to whip a vehicle. Go ahead, whip it in there. Whip it. So anyway, so I think he was expecting me to get out of my car as soon as I parked my car, right? But I had a situation and I couldn't get out the car just yet because when I get out of the car, when I was gonna get out, I had to change my shoes into my work shoes. Normally I come straight to work with my work shoes on, but this particular time I was like, no, I gotta try to hope I can finesse the system so by the time I get to work, I can put my shoes on. So I had some swelling that happened because I haven't been eating the way I'm supposed to eat, right? Like my body is telling me, everything is telling me you need to stop. Like stuff that normally don't bother me, it has been swelling me up with the quickness. Like it's been crazy. Like the other day, I got these, and I already told you I ain't gonna sit up here and lie to y'all. Ain't no reason to lie to y'all about nothing. So I went to a store and I got these. I love these things right here. Ever since they came out, I love them. I hadn't been getting them in quite some time, but they was on a deep discount somewhere, and that was a big old bag. I ain't never seen a bag that big before, so I got it. And so I ate some like just recently. I just ate some like an hour before I got on here, right? My feet done blew all the way back up again or whatever. It's just too much salt in it. It is what it is. There are other things that I'm eating, whether it's salty or not, and it's just like, girl, you know you're not supposed to be eating it. So I feel like everything that I'm eating that's not the fruits and the vegetables that I'm supposed to be eating, it's just blowing me up and breaking me out because, girl, Lord, ugh, y'all. I ended up going to work. I forgot if it was my first day back or my second day. But I woke up from, sleeping because I was going to get up and go to work. I feel it. It's got to the point now I can feel when I done broke out into hives and all this stuff now. So I done broke out into hives. My ankles are swollen. My feet are swollen. And like the hives situation, ever since my birthday, when those hives first happened, when I had that allergic reaction to the seafood that I am now allergic to, it ended up doing the same thing. So for some reason, it's always the same place. It's like where your knee bends, kind of on the inside, where my thigh and my calf connect, right there on the inside, mainly on my left side. And I just broke out into hives. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I don't need. I done already failed. So my leg is completely healed now, y'all. Thank goodness. There's still a slight bit of soreness to the touch, but not just from me walking. Like before, it was so bad that me walking on it was painful, and I got winded trying to walk from point A to point B, no matter how short the distance was. So I'm already dealing with that pain. Then I'm dealing with that, and I'm like, and I'm not saying any of this to get sympathy from y'all because I don't deserve it because I'm eating bad. It's my fault. But I'm already dealing with that. So he didn't know that I wasn't finna get straight out the car. So I'm like, Lord, please let me be able to put my shoes on. So I had put on some other shoes, hoping that it would compress it long enough for me to be able to stomp my foot into my shoes, or however I need to maneuver to get them in there. Luckily, it worked, and so I put my shoes on, did what I need to do. Well, somebody got to show, I'm pretty sure, because I bent all the way over. So when I can tie my shoes, I gotta do what I gotta do. That's one reason why I don't like doing stuff like that at work, because I gotta bend over and somebody gonna see, and they be getting their life anyway. And I'm like, why? But like I ain't even made it to my final form yet. Like I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be a real good, nice, big fine woman for real at some point. I'm gonna be that, but I ain't nowhere near that yet. What y'all living for me for now? So anyway, so I'm thinking, oh, I ain't gonna get to talk to him. I ain't gonna see him. Lies. So come to find out, the other amigos of us uh, three amigos, they got to work. They got to come in early, meaning that they were gonna clock in at the same time I clocked in. So they both were behind me. I didn't know. So one of them, he was coming at me sideways, playfully or whatever. A lot of people don't know our relationship, our dynamic or whatever. And so old boy that looked like Corey Hardick was like, hey, you know, what's going on here? What's going on here? And so he is thoroughly entertained. And so I'm going back and forth with my friend, right? And so he was like, see, y'all need to leave Linda alone. I'm trying to tell y'all, she ain't playing no games. She gonna string y'all out. That's a gangster right there. And I'm saying to myself, you better say that. You better know it. You like, how do you ain't even working on my shift and you know how I operate? How you know me? How you know I'm a gangster like that? But anyway, that man is so fine. Wait a minute, I'm gonna tell y'all one more thing about one of the days that I saw him this week, and then I'm gonna let it go for this week. So I saw him. I saw him my last day of work, which was Wednesday. I don't know how I was able to see him that many times. That was my half day. So I saw him, and he spoke. He was like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" Like he said my name, and he was like, "Hey, Blender, baby, how you doing?" Da, da, da. Like I be getting my tired. Like, "Ooh, don't call me baby, because sir, sir, you don't know me. You don't know what type of time I be on in my mind. You don't understand. You don't understand. I am sexually frustrated right now. Don't say these things to me." Y'all are trying to be good. I swear to you, everything in me, like my sex drive is through the roof. And for you to be somebody who has an extremely high sex drive and you're not having sex, it's just, I just be at work just mad. I just be like, ooh. It's been bad, y'all. Then my little yeah with the yeah, he be trying to link up and I be looking like, ooh, that's so tempting. Ooh, that's so tempting. Let me sit down somewhere though. Ooh, I'm trying to be good, y'all. It's really hard. Pray for me. So anyway, saw him already. We already spoke. I didn't think I was gonna see him no more. Man, I went on one of my breaks. I think I went on my last break. And he came from somewhere. Child, I don't know where he came from. I think he went and did a whole wardrobe change of some sort, because all of a sudden, unless I just wasn't paying attention to what he had on before, he had an all black. Now normally he wears almost the same thing every day, not the same exact clothes, but like some people like wearing certain colors every day, and normally I see him in specific colors. He was black down from the head to the toe, and then he had went and found a necklace and put it on. I was like, where you get the neck? It took everything in me. I was like, sir, you ain't supposed to have no necklace on. You just sat up here and went to put the necklace on and everything. Man was looking so scrumptious. I was like, oh, I mean, God, why is he doing this to me? Lord have mercy. He is fine for no reason. His smile is everything. So then he started talking to me again. I'm like, boy, get out my face. Stop talking to me. Oh, stop talking to me. Y'all, that man is fine for no reason. I'm sorry. He be getting his life when he talk to me. I don't know why. And it's funny because when I first saw him, I didn't think he was gonna make it because I'm like, you too fine to be up in here. You gonna quit soon. But he working. He here. So let's move along. So anyway, I think this was the day before my last day of work. I had finally saw my partner. I hadn't seen him in a while, and I was coming back from my last break, and he was going to his last break. And so, yep. And that's typically the time the side have to go to break too. I had to think about it because I was like, why was she there? So anyway, I'm getting to that. So I see him. Wasn't nobody coming up the floor. We was only ones passing each other. So I was like, hey, how you doing? Talking to him, all that. So then I started playing with him. I'm like, yeah, I gotta play with him because in all seriousness, somebody said to me, they was like, ooh, what about him? We need him back here. I was like, it's not gonna happen. I just started laughing immediately because I'm like, it's not gonna happen. He hates working back here, doing what he already have to do whenever they put him on the schedule to do it as it is. He's not going to sit up there and put in for a job back here. He hates working back here. So they're like, no, I'm gonna have to talk to him. I'm like, I'm gonna fall on deaf ears. That man don't want to work back here. So anyway, I'm talking to him. So I start playing with him. I was like, yeah, we need you. We've missed you. Where have you been? Like, I'm like, people know I'm on some foolishness once I start getting my voice high because my voice is deep. So I'd be like, what's going on here? We really need you. Like, they be knowing I'm on some foolishness. They already know. And they be here for it. And then, so I'm talking to him. I was like, where have you been? Like, we have really needed you back there. We really needed you. Like, this is unacceptable. So I'm talking to him like I'm crazy. He was just like, nah. The last time he was back there, it had been like about a week. And they was going through over there, going through it. And then the dude that's almost 50 years old, he was back there. So lately they've been kind of throwing him in the mix because at first he wasn't going back there. So they've kind of been training him. He said he was sick. So he was like, no, last time I was back there, I had to deal with him. He was sick. And then all that stuff was tore up. It might be an easy job. Like, nothing in there is really hard. That particular job, it's easy, but there are days when that particular stuff will put you through it. And if you don't have the mindset that I have, which 99% of the time I'm good, but it might be that 1% day that you'll catch me on where I want to kick everything over and walk out the door, blow it up and just walk off as the blaze of glory is going up behind me. Like, it will put you through that 1% for me. I saw him. I would walk past going to break and all this other stuff, so I did see the foolishness as it was unfolding. I definitely saw that. So he was like, no, it was too much that day that I was back there. I ain't trying to be back there no more. Like, I already know he hates it back there, so I like picking with him, so that was funny. And so we in the middle of talking. So he was talking to me about something else. This heifer, his raggedy cousin, the side heifer, she gonna roll up. She walked past me, and then she went to stand next to him. And I just be like, it took everything in me, because I really was about to do this number for real. I really was about to take my glasses off and be like, girl, you have been up there for 6.5 hours with him. You've seen him. You've looked in his face for 6.5 hours. You're working directly across from him. I know you've been in his face all day if you haven't been, because the married man ain't there right now. The day that I saw her, he, look here, wait a minute. Speaking of the married man, so he done sat up there and he had taken off last week. And so he had like 2 more days left of the work week or whatever, or 2 more days that he wanted to recuperate or something. He called out. I was like, where's his name at? Because I know he's supposed to be here. And so I look in the little section that they had up there on the schedule, the schedule, and he done called out. I was like, oh, you done went off. So I'm like, oh, because I know you went in his face. So you had access to your cousin for these last 6.5 hours. Why is that now that I'm finally seeing him? I hadn't seen him all week. I hadn't seen him in at least 5 to 7, maybe 9 days. And then I finally get a chance to finally, for real, have a full-on conversation, because it happens few and far in between now since I've been doing what I've been doing. You want to stand there, which indicates, oh, I ain't got no life. Let me bother my cousin to talk to him about nothingness. Like, I just be like, girl, please stop the shenanigans, right? So I just was like, let me go on about my business before I be to say something to this raggedy heifer. So we finished what we were saying to each other. We was laughing, and then I went on about my business. I was like, let me get away from here, because before I be done went off on this heifer. But yeah, I finally got to talk to him. It was a vibe. Okay, y'all. So keeping with the theme of work, As I've already told people, I will be going to this retirement dinner. I don't have time. I don't care what they got going on. The problem came into play when they changed my schedule from the days I was working. So I'm supposed to be filling in for this man for 2 months. A week after I had been working, week, maybe 2 weeks, all of a sudden they switched my schedule to another schedule. Had I worked last week on that same schedule where I was taking that guy's spot, I would have went down to the bottom of the rotation list. Meaning Saturday would have been my last day of the work week. Sunday is the day, which this Sunday coming up, this is when the retirement dinner is going to be. So I wouldn't be drafted to work. I would be at the literal bottom. So there are going to be two people who are out. One person went on vacation, and the other person, they pulled her because my friend and like other people are going to be out sporadically throughout the summer on their vacation. So they needed to have her updated on certain things that she needs to know how to input in the system and all that. And I'm just like, that's going to be like a month or two. So I'm going to be over there for like a month or two, which in my mind, I'm kind of like, y'all just said that about that man, but I don't really believe y'all because there's somebody that's going to leave unless y'all pull somebody from the shift that I'm on right now to cover his schedule for 2 weeks. He's gonna be gone on his honeymoon for 2 weeks, and I do his job as well. So I'm just like, when y'all gonna get the other replacements? Because at this point, y'all doing too much, child. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but this is the gist of what I'm saying. I will be going to the retirement dinner because it's gonna fall on. Officially, it's gonna fall on the first day back for work for me, but I'm gonna go to work because the time that I get off is going to be 10 hours before the actual dinner starts, right? But I'm not gonna work that schedule because at first I said, oh, well, I guess I'll just, hopefully I'll go to sleep and then I'll be able to get up and I'll just, get up early and take my shower and get ready for the function and then have my work clothes in the car and leave the function 30 minutes before I gotta clock in. Like, and I thought about it. I said, I'm not finna do all that. Like, and then I gotta go straight into a 12-hour shift. No, I'm tired. Like, I already gotta hope I get some sleep when I get home after coming back this first day. I gotta hope I'm gonna get some sleep. So I'm like, nope, not doing it. So I'm taking off. I told that woman already. I've been told that woman months in advance. When she first told me they were gonna have something for her outside of work, I said, oh, I'll be there. Because she invited me and I said, oh, I'll be there. I don't care if I gotta call out, use a day, I'm gonna be there. So I put in my PTO day and it got denied the next day. Because my friend was like, oh, and I had to deny your PTO request because there are already going to be two people out and you're already replacing one of those people's spots. So they're going to be like severely like looking crazy and, not having enough people. And I was like, oh, because for me, I'm tired of whenever I have something planned, I can't never do it. I very rarely have stuff planned for myself. Very rarely do I have stuff planned for myself to do in this city or in neighboring cities or whatever that I'm doing that I want to enjoy. Like last year, y'all know last year, I kept going to these music festivals. I went to 2 different music festivals here. And so I took off. I had to take off because that first one, I knew they was going to try me. Anytime I have anything planned, they try to try me. I didn't want them to try to pull nothing and be like, oh, you gotta work Sunday, and oh, you gotta do this, and oh, you gotta do that. Like, no, you're not finna mess my time up. I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't care if I would have. I had to hope that I was gonna get off on time so that I can go home and take a quick nap, because I'm gonna go to the function early. Because I want my parking spot, whatever parking spot I want to get what I want to get, and I don't want to have to circle 500 times to try to find a decent parking spot. Because I want to be close. It's going to be nighttime, animals going to be out, and whatever else. Animals, including the ones that walk upright, going to be out. And I don't have time to have to try to figure out where I park and walk up and down these hilly places to some back alley or whatever trying to find a parking space. No, I'm going to be somewhere well lit that's near where the police are already posted up so that I can get to my vehicle quickly and without incident. I don't have time for it, right? So, and then this was what the problem was gonna be. Even if I would have got off on time, I knew they probably was gonna hit me till I was like, "Oh, you gotta work Sunday on my day off." So that means I'm gonna get screwed because the function officially is usually over maybe an hour, hour and a half before I'm supposed to clock in for work. I ain't got time to try to fight traffic to get back to the house, take all my clothes, take a shower, put on my work clothes, and get to work. That's not enough time. So, y'all, it was just gonna be too much going on. All that stuff got canceled this year because I tried to reach out to them to get King George and West Love to perform, and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're having some kind of a they talking about all kinds of construction was going to be going on in the areas where they normally have the functions at, so they're not going to have those festivals this year." And I was just like, mm-mm. Then they tried to suggest somewhere else that's like hours away, and I'm like, the things I've heard about them cities, unless I had a friend or something that lived there that was going to drive their vehicle and I was going to have it my vehicle enclosed somewhere where they knew it wasn't gonna get stolen or broken into, I wasn't gonna do it. And so I was like, no, I'm not finna do all that. Like I don't know y'all like that. And see, y'all already know I'm not on speaking terms and I don't deal with old girl, which I think today her birthday. What's today? I think today is her birthday. I don't even fool with her. We was going to the functions together. Like we was linking up. Even though somebody else was bringing her, I would have been cool with us going together. We would have been able to get in my vehicle, or if she wanted to drive, I would give her gas money so we could go. But since we ain't on speaker terms or none of that, I'm not finna go to another city that I'm not familiar with by myself to go do nothing. None of that stuff. So no. So I was like, man, that bummed me out. So this really is the first thing I'm doing this year that is something that I want to do. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to fight to be off in order to do something. And especially on a day I was supposed to be off anyway. Like, I ain't got time for it. So, yeah, y'all, since my PTO got denied, in order for me to get paid for that day, I'm going to have to put in a sick day. So, as soon as I leave work that day, my first day back, I'm putting in a sick day within an hour of me getting off work. And they're going to have to deal with it. The supervisor or somebody going to have to step in, I guess, and get them folks breaks or something. I don't know. But whatever. It is what it is. They're going to have to figure it out. I'll be back the next day. So anyway, moving right along. Because I'm going to the function. I done bought that woman's retirement card. The only thing left for me to do is to figure out which outfit I'm going to wear and for me to get out the money that I'm going to put in the card for her and actually go to the situation. Because I think it's going to last 2 to 4 hours. And I plan on being there. And it's going to be like at least 60 people there. So I know everybody going to want to speak. People going to be congregating and everybody going to be, fellowshipping. I want to be in on that stuff. I don't like having to leave events early like that, especially if it's something that I'm interested in. I hate missing stuff. Anytime I've ever left somewhere early that I really, really wanted to be, something popped off after the fact that was awesome, and I don't want to miss out on nothing, so I'm not doing it. So anyway, moving right along. As I've already told y'all before, I am hopefully going to start back doing recap reviews soon. I want to start back before the end of the summer. I was debating on yesterday, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was debating on trying to get my feet wet again and doing a recap review on Love and wait a minute, what is it called? Ready to Love, Dallas. I guess that's what it's called. Why do they keep having 5,000 of them in Texas? I understand that Tommy is from Texas, but we ain't gotta have all of them in every little place in Texas. Like, please stop. There are other states. Like, what is going on? But anyway, I did see the first episode of that, and let me make sure I tell y'all this too, because last season that came out, I tried to watch that first episode, and I was so disinterested in everybody that was on there that I was seeing. The men. I was like, I'm not here for none of them. So, I'm not here for nothing that's going on. It was just so, like, I was just like, these are the people that y'all chose. Y'all playing in these women's faces. I'd be mad if I was them. So, I don't know what it was hitting for because I was just like not interested. Every time it aired, I turned my head and watched something else. I was not here for it. But yeah, I saw this first episode. There's a lot of foolishness going on, and I'm here for everything that I'm seeing so far. The women are gorgeous. I'm actually surprised that everybody's living for the biggest woman now. She fine. She a big fine woman. Now I know we in the South, but some people really be trying to act like these big fine women that's in shape, that barely got a stomach or ain't got no stomach, ain't it. But it's all right. I'm just saying that woman is that woman is the biggest woman now. Cause normally the biggest woman in any of these competitions and things, these shows like that, they be trying to act like, oh, well that's the homie, and I'm like, not date a homie now. They're a good woman, and then y'all want to sit up there and be like, oh no, that's the homie. All the men live for that woman, and I'm here for it already. But we gonna see how it pan out. So I'm still debating on whether or not I'm gonna do the recap review on that. I don't know, but I might. I definitely want to get back to doing the family business. I want to start where I left off on that because people really were living for that, and I never would have thought that people would have cared because it shows that people should not be living for like that. That they want a recap review on, and I'm like, have y'all not seen the shows that are actually really worthy of recap reviews? Like, I be needing to talk to somebody after I see some of these shows. Like that show, I got to talk to somebody about it. And my friends don't be watching that stuff. I'm like, y'all missing out on good TV shows. So anyway, I'm just reiterating the fact that, if everything goes according to plan, I'm gonna start back doing recap reviews. So let me go ahead and go on to the next thing. So tell me why these people keep on leaving notices on the door. Like why? When I left out yesterday, I went to 3 stores. I was looking for something, and I found what I was looking for. And when I tell y'all, I don't know how that ended up happening because I had no inclination that was actually going to be one of the places that I was going to find. That was the least. That was the one that was the lowest on my list where I thought I was going to find it. And I actually found it. I got 2. I snatched up 2 of the item that I was looking for. I'm talking about I've been trying to get this item for the last month and a half. Everywhere has been saying it's sold out. And if it wasn't sold out and places had it, they did not sell stuff to people who were going to use a P.O. box. And I'm just like, whatever. Then the other 2 places, they just was doing the most. And so I was like, just bring me my money back. Because you ain't finna sit up here and tell me, I got you, but I just want you to do this. No, you're doing too much. I ain't got time for it. So I said, my last resort is going to be me looking into these 3 stores. So I'm telling me to look at them. 2 of them I'd never been to. So one of the ones I'd never been to was the place where I found it, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Worked out for my benefit. I almost screamed in that store. And so it was on a top shelf. And so I'm trying to get them down, and it just so happened to be 2 together already, and so I almost had it off the shelf. I was going to tilt it off and let it fall into my arm, and this man ran from across the store. Like, he was like, excuse me, ma'am, would you like for me to help you with that? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I'm just to the point where I don't expect nobody to help me with nothing. I do things in a way where I feel like nobody's going to help me. I just operate in that space because I don't believe somebody's gonna be there to help me to do stuff, and I really don't need nobody help, but I do appreciate it when people are a gentleman about that and want to help. So it is what it is, but I was glad about that. But yeah, they keep on leaving notices on the door. So they left a notice on the door yesterday talking about, well, we're gonna drop by at 11 o'clock a.m. today, and so that we can show the property to paper at. They was gonna show it to whoever they wanted to have to be the possible new what do you do with that paper? Like a person that's gonna manage the property, right? I think it's a potential person. I don't know if they pulled out or whatever, but they never showed up. I don't even know what the person who owned this building looked like, but the people below me, the man below me, he has been reaching out to them because his wife has been inconvenienced, hasn't been able to go to her doctor's appointments, been able to leave the house to do nothing, and she needs to go to her doctor's appointments. Like, it's too much been going on up in here because they still ain't finished everything they need to do in the back, which I've already told y'all about. But I just wish that if they gonna come, that they would come and go upstairs and look at the fact that these people keep going into that apartment because they left the door unlocked and they just set up shop in there. And they're not really disturbing me like that right now. Like, it's definitely way more bearable than what was going on before. But yeah, they need to get from up there. I'm trying to understand why the door was unlocked and why haven't they been coming through, making sure that it's locked. and they go in and out all day, and I'm just like, go to. And these are younger people. They're younger than me, so I believe they're all 18 and younger. And like earlier, it was a mess, but yeah, nothing like the foolishness that was going on before them folks got evicted. So yeah, that's another situation. I had to lean in real quick because I don't know who might be outside listening, because they don't. That's one thing I don't like. I don't like the foolishness that be going on now, because people be doing too much in this building. That's why I can't wait to get up out of here. So anyway, and another thing, the man that is supposed to be working on the deck outside the little walkway or whatever you want to call it to replace all of the planks and stuff, he hadn't shown up for like a week and a half, right? So then all of a sudden he appeared the other day, and it was like 6:15 p.m. and I'm like, who starts coming to do work at that time? So he knocking and banging and tearing stuff up, and then like less than an hour later it stops. This man left back out again. So all he did was remove another plank and ain't finished the deck. And I'm like, the way that they were going at first, they would have been done in a timely fashion. So I'm confused as to why they ain't done and why they taking their time. Like, is the money not there? That's why I am not the slightest bit worried about the time frame that it's going to take these people to really bring everything up to code and to do everything as far as renovations. Because once the renovations were done, that's when he talk about how he gonna raise the rent. I ain't worried about it. I'll be long gone to another place, hopefully my own house by the time that happens. So anyway, it is what it is. So the last thing I want to talk about is something that happened the other day. So I think this might have been my last day of work, and so when I had gotten off work, I had done some stuff, and then I got home. And so I'm looking at my live. The live came on. Tondi went live. I don't remember if y'all remember Tondi. Tondi Gallant. She was one of the people that was on Ready to Love. Now, I knew of her existence long before that. She'd been in the game long before that, you know. But people best know her from that recently who didn't know of her existence prior to that. Now, I knew her from the chicken circuit, if you will, plays and the singing and all that stuff that she does. And she looks amazing. It's like she's gotten better with time. And I'm just so happy for her. So, this is what happened. So, I saw that she went live, and I haven't seen her go live in a while, meaning just me personally, because normally I'm at work or whatever, something like that. So I wasn't at work this time, so I was like, oh, let me see what Tondi doing. So I click on there, and you know, when you click on the live, the person who started the live can see who all came into the room. And so you can tell that she's in this bar or somewhere, and she's smoking hookah. Her man is there, and they're having a good time listening to some good music. She enjoying herself. Her hair is laid. So I'm looking at her hair the whole time. I'm looking like, I don't know if I will fully straighten my hair to the degree that her hair was straightened ever again in life. But I'm wondering what product was used in order for her to achieve that look. Because it's 90 something and 100 something degrees here. She in Georgia. It's hot. It's I don't know what down south too. Further down south, because even though this is closer to the north, this is still the south. It's hot in here. It's very hot. It's 100 degrees here in Virginia. So before I even asked the question, you know how you look and you can see who all joined your live. She saw my name, and she said, "Thick." She said, "Al Thick Madame." I already told you most people, like almost everybody, says it wrong. She said, "Al Thick Madame." She was like, "Hey, we know each other," or something like that. Like she recognized me, and she said, "Hey, you know, hey, beautiful," or something like that. I was just like, now she remembered me. Because I don't know how many of y'all were around when I told y'all about the nice connection that she and I have, you know, had a great rapport with one another. We've never hung out before or anything like that, but when I was religiously doing recap reviews, I did the recap review for the season of Ready to Love that she was on. And I was not here for a lot of the shenanigans that was going on, and people was always trying to play in her face. The person that she was trying to date on that show, he just was not it, and it didn't work out. He thought he was gonna police her body and all this other stuff. Like he had something slick to say or something. You know, you remember if you saw the show, she was wearing a bathing suit, and you know she was just interacting with everybody else like it's a dating show. You're trying to get to know who you're gonna be with, and it seemed like they were gonna be with each other, but he started trying to police her body and tried to make it seem like she can't interact with other people. Like he was trying to run her, and I was just like, I ain't hit for that. Wait a minute now. But anyway, like always, I'm gonna voice my opinion on the things that are being placed out there for us in the public to see. So when I was on the recap review of that show, I said whatever I said about her and everybody else on that show. But she always was nice to me, always was sweet. So one day, I had already been following her. So one day I had said something on one of the videos that I put up there. I was like, it's so crazy that I always say that I live for her. Turns out her handle on Instagram is I live for Tondi. And so I went on to say whatever I was saying. I forgot what the video was, you know, entitled or whatever, but I was talking about Tondi and some other people or whatever. But yeah, one day I looked up and I had gotten a friend request from her. And so I was like, because I think one point in time, every time she went live, I just so happened to be awake and I would see her. I think it was because of the day of the week. For some reason, whenever she would go live, when I worked my old schedule, when I would work Fridays through Tuesdays and I was off on Wednesdays and Thursdays, she would go live. And this was like during quarantine, like way back in quarantine. There were times that she would be in her house and she would just be talking and out on her porch and all this other stuff, or in her apartment, in her place, wherever she lives, I'm sorry. And she would just be talking and I would be listening to her and I would, you know, interact on the live with her because she's very down to earth. And so like we'd just be talking and it was what it was. So one day, imagine my surprise when I get a follow request from her. So I'm looking like, ain't no way this is real. So once you click on it, you can see, you know, if it's real or not. I already was following her. And so when I looked, it says, you are already following this person. Would you like to follow them back? And I was looking like, and it's like, I'm really not one of those fangirl type of people, but I live for her and I live for people who are real and they're down to earth. And so I was just like, wow, that's cool that she actually like took it upon herself to reach out to me and add me, you know, for me to follow her. And so her new man, he reached out to me as well. Like they had a couples page or something, or it was his page or both or something like that. Ended up following me the same day too. I was just like, wait a minute, y'all about to take me up out of here. So yeah, so I just like that she is so down to earth, and the fact that within this live, she went on there and like I said, she was smoking hookah and she was enjoying herself, and then she looked and she's like reading through, you know, everybody saying hey, and so she saw my name and she said Al, thank madame. She was like, oh hey, yeah, we know each other, like I love you. Like I was just like, oh yeah, she literally said I love you. She was like, oh yes, I love you, girl. And so I messaged back to her on there and I said, I love you too. So then, like I said, I already was like, wait a minute, what product is being used in her hair? Because it's hot. My hair would have balled up as soon as I stepped outside if I would have tried to sit up there and straighten my hair. Like, I don't know what my hair do right now that I'm all the way fully natural. I already had a time when I would go through so many different products to straighten new growth when I was relaxing my hair. So, child, I ended up asking her, well, what product did you use on your hair to keep it from blowing up on you? Because if it had been me, I would have had a fro by the time I walked out the door. So she read the comment and she started laughing a little bit, and then she was like, so what I did do was I went to this Dominican place. As soon as she said that, I said, oh, okay, you ain't gotta say nothing else. That's what I'm saying to myself. You ain't gotta say nothing else. That explains everything. So, and I'm talking about it was laid, and I'm like, ain't no way from the as soon as I step out the door to the time I get to the car, it's gonna be a wrap for my hair. Like, I'm trying to figure out what you got going when. And she was just like, I don't know what product it was, but I went and they did my hair for me. And so I already knew. Like, they be setting it down. They be setting it off when it comes to those blowouts and whatnot. I don't want no parts of it because they be doing a lot to them folks. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I hate being up under the dryer and all that stuff. I always hated that, so that ain't gonna work for me. I hate all that heat, it just be doing too much. So, I want to tell y'all about one other person that is like up there. This person is, you know, famous, kind of, or whatever. Like, she's famous. It's a director. I first encountered her when I used to watch Black and Sexy TV. I don't know how many of y'all were riding there way back in the day, like when they first came about, but they were on YouTube. Everything was free at first, and that is how I discovered Ari Lennox, because they were using a lot of Ari Lennox's songs in their TV shows. I don't know how many of y'all ever heard Cascade. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. If you ain't never heard of Cascade before and you like how Ari Lennox sings and you like her music, go listen to Cascade. Go listen to all of her stuff she did before she got with Dreamville or whoever she signed to now, because it was everything. Like, Cascade, man, Cascade brought a tear to my eye the first time I heard that song in one of the backgrounds of one of the little shows they did, because they were creating TV shows that were being seen on YouTube. And I would tune in every time something dropped. Oh my gosh, I don't understand. That was the time to be alive. Oh my gosh, I lived for them shows to the point of where they grew bigger. Oh, I glossed over the fact that, okay, so for those of y'all who aren't familiar with the person I'm talking about, her name is Numa. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her last name. If I think about it, I will put it in this video or in the comment section or something. But she is one half of the founding members, if you will, of Black and Sexy TV. The other person is her child's father. She's no longer with him, and she definitely blew up once everything hit the fan with him. And you know, she slowly started to make a rise, and I just started following her, and been following her career even when she went solo. Like, she has been dope. She directed a movie that had been #1 for a while on Netflix recently, and it's that movie that has Gabrielle Union in it, and T.S. Madison makes an appearance, and there are a lot of well-known people in this movie, and she had even made an appearance in the movie. But yeah, Numa is everything. And she actually reached out to me to follow me, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I think it's because, like, every time you look up, I'm always supporting her. Like, I really do live for people who do what they're supposed to do. I really do support Black-owned businesses. When they actually had it where we had to do paid subscription for Black and Sexy TV, the content was so good that I was paying for it. Do you hear me? It was worth it. It was worth it. It was so good, y'all. So anyway, Numa, she directed this movie, and she was in it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so she ended up posting something, and she was like, make sure y'all check this out, whatever she said. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it. I watched it like a weekend or two ago because I planned on watching it when I knew I was gonna be fully free. And so I finally watched it, and I had already told her, I was like, oh, I plan on watching it this weekend or something, I said. And so I was not expecting to see her in the movie, but she was in it, and I was like, wait a minute, not you being in the movie. Y'all, I kid you not. Whenever I post something to my stories on Instagram, this woman watches them. You know how busy she is? Do you understand how busy Numa is? She is always doing something, but she sits up there and watches my stories all the time. I don't be understanding. I'll be like, wait. And I be posting all kinds of stuff. And I just be like, I can't believe this woman is sitting there watching my stuff. I cannot believe. Y'all, I don't know. I just feel like and then, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it must have been some truth to what other people were saying, which was at one point in time, people ended up losing some of their followers, like they had gotten deleted. She reached back out to me a couple of months ago and requested to follow me again. It was so random. I was like, oh, you live for me for real. Okay. So, you know, I appreciate it. It's just all love all around. Like, if you really are doing something for the community and you really are actually doing something that I believe in and I live for you, like, I'm going to show you support. I'm going to support you. I'm gonna be 10 toes down for you. And it's just like her, Tandi, and like a couple of other people, they really show me love, and I just appreciate that. It is so sweet. But anyway, y'all, I'm done. I'm finna watch some TV shows and continue relaxing. It's raining here and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.